pop out.
Welcome, everyone, to the Lights of Miiva, episode 56. My name is Sam Leonard. I'm your GM. I have some players.
I'm Zerda, the interrupting owl.
Woo!
I'm Suda, and playing Riisha, who just remembered she has 2 skulls, but the other one's a dire wolf, and she can't talk to it for some reason. So she's going to see if Lucy can.
I'm Mia, playing Beraald the ranger, whose animal companion is a giant raccoon named, in fact, Lucy. So we'll find out.
And I'm Inter. I'm playing Criior, the monk.
And I'm Ash, and I play Ibrakeet, the divination wizard.
So last time, our intrepid adventurers teleported themselves back to their hometown. Well, recently re-established hometown of Miiva. And it went pretty okay for them. But unfortunately, the next cruise after them had a small disagreement with teleportation magic, and many of the wizards and clerics that were intended to come along with the group ended up being wizards and clerics. And the person who was casting teleportation, Iris, also was injured. But despite that, you guys still made it back to Miiva. And as you get out into town, you see a surprising amount of activity and more people than you kind of had expected. You guys have been gone for about a month, I think. No, a bit more than that. Yeah,
Possibly closer to 2.
So Emerald first was when we started you guys in Haifa. So I was just looking this up. So it has been a month. It's been 7, almost 7 weeks since you left Miiva last. In amongst the people in the town, you notice a couple of goblins, a couple of kobolds, and a much bigger variety of people than expected. Sorry, Rogue needed something. So, you guys are back. Iris, is shown, the healers that were here in town, are consulting with her, and she is being shown a place to rest. The town guard, led by the town guard leader, whose name is going to escape me, Amari. Thank you. Is helping them find lodging. Yeah. So what are you guys doing?
Lumi is beelining towards the forge where Edward known to work?
Yep.
Question mark?
The forge is just north of the Griffin. Yeah. You get there no problem. It being a very much smaller town than either Haifa or Vali or Ava. It's not a very long walk. And you see Edvard. I will remember NPC names one day. Won't remember anything else, but I will remember NPC names one day. And he is currently at a jeweler's lathe, and he has a, like, he's got a pair of goggles on, that are about 8 inches long, and the end of like the eyepieces are about 8 inches long. The end of the eyepieces are within 10 centimeters, probably less, of the thing that he is working on the lathe. It is some very small something or other, and the lathe isn't spinning. It's like moving back and forth, and he appears to have some sort of very small tool in his hand.
If not for the fact that casting a spell is as loud as just making yourself known vocally, I would have just druid crafted the smell of wet earth underneath his nose, but casting spells is loud, so let's go.
Oh, jeez. You startle him. He rolled a 2. You startle him, and he flinches, just like reflexively, and the etching tool that he's got in his hand splits whatever it is that he's been working on the lathe, and you smell the aroma of a thunderstorm that has and like a lightning strike hitting a dead tree. That is the smell you get. And Edvard like pauses, swears, lifts his goggles off of his face, turns around and goes, "Oh, Lumi. Ah, right. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. How was everything?" He gets up, towers over you.
Sorry, let me see if we can fix that while we maybe... Is the sickle ready?
Is the sickle ready? Oh, yeah, just a minute. And...
just as he says, just a minute, I'm over at the thing he was engraving, trying to figure out which orientation, and I'm gonna cast Mending on it. No idea if it's gonna work, but I'm casting Mending.
Okay, you see the pieces, like the split thing, like reform. It was maybe a half an inch long, and it had some sort of elaborate scrolling work on it. He's like, don't worry about that's. It's mostly an experiment, and well, but that doesn't put the magic. Well, it still saves some steps anyway. And he reaches into a extra dimensional space that he's got attached to the side of his workbench, and he slowly withdraws a sickle. The hilt is made from I forget the actual name of it, but there is, if lightning strikes sand, you get basically a geode that is full of glass on the inside and is got kind of a coating of sand on the outside from the strike of lightning. So the hilt is made of that. It's got a like leather wrapping around it, and the metal of the blade, so you can still see the blade, but it is semi-translucent. And as you like hold it and interpose it between like a light source and say like there's a beam of light coming from a window into the room, if you hold it in the beam of light, it creates a shadow as if it was not translucent, but in the shadow you can see the cup brain fart constellation projected on the floor. He's like, I think I got it right. It's got a little extra though. I used a little more iron than I needed to, so depending on what you do with it, it might be a little better, or it might explode. No, I'm sure it won't explode. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little better. But here, and he very gently takes in and hands you the constellation sickle, or the star sickle.
Thanks. And the constellation is rather spot on, as Lumi just pivots his shield into view and points at the actual cap constellation.
I mean, I was inspired, and this was for you, so... Yeah, Fulgurite, thank you. That is correct. Does anybody... Well, how's everybody else doing?
We're doing well. We've got another person joining us, Beraald, elderly.
Oh, elder... What?
Up in the years, at least.
He's like middle-aged at best. I know Beraald. He bought some stuff for me a while back.
He's older than me, that's for sure, and I'm usually the oldest.
Edvard doesn't comment, as Edvard's in his 20s.
Is he in his mid or low 20s?
Mid. He's a couple years older than you.
About the same age as me. Like,
yeah. Anyway, let me know if anybody else has some work. I'm gonna go back to, and he looks at the lathe and says, "Well, I'm gonna go back to start over at infusing this with magic."
Yeah, sorry, I scared you. Least I could do was fix the physical damage.
I really should learn to lock my door.
Well, on the flip side of that, if you'd locked your door, I would be pounding on it.
I really should.
Going,
I really should learn to cast silence on my door.
Now that is a solution.
He takes
Thanks, Edvard.
he chuckles a little bit and says, "Yeah. Now I just need to learn to cast silence." Anyway, he goes back to his workbench, rearranges the lathe a little bit, puts his glasses back on, and just you can tell he's back to just in focus on this thing, and he's got a little vial. It looks like a test tube vial. Your character wouldn't see it as that, but you as a person, looks like a test tube vial, and in the bottom of it, it looks to have some iron rust in it. He's like very carefully taking a pair of tweezers and taking like specks of iron out of the bottom of this vial. So it's like 6-inch long tweezers. He's taking like a speck at a time and then placing it onto the etchings on his thing, and he's just gone in focus.
There's two things I'd like to do before Lumi will leave this building. One is make a paper sign says "Do not disturb the genius in work."
Mm-hmm.
The other is grab 10 brass worth of iron filings from the pouch Lumi's carrying and put in somewhere he will see, but no one else would.
Yeah,
like in one of the tool drawers or something, like with a small note just labeled "Enjoy."
You absolutely, that no problem at all. He's so focused that you find. So he's got a stack of dishes against one wall, and you see where he like has a very clean like section of table, And so you like move a cup onto the very clean section of table and place the iron filings directly underneath it. And then, make your do not disturb sign hanging on the door. And yeah, Edvard is currently muttering some sort of incantation under his breath as you're leaving the room. And you get these faint smell of lavender.
Also, would actually do the due diligence of trying to shut the door quietly behind me.
He looks just completely focused.
Just as focused on when I cleared my throat and he
Yep.
ruined the thing, so still trying to close the door as quietly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Even as far as doing a sleight of hand check to see if I can do it quietly enough.
Okay, Zerder, please add the Moonsicle to your character sheet. Make a note on it, though, that let me know when you roll a natural 20 with it.
Will do. I will start figuring out the math of roll 20 with it.
Woohoo! All right. Beraald, this you've never been here. This town is, considering how small it is, seems to be very lively. You recognize a fair number of the people moving through this town as former residents of Haifa that you would have run into from time to time. Unless you tell me otherwise, probably nobody that's like a close acquaintance. But you recognize people. Like, you're not a stranger, right? What are you doing?
Beraald wants to communicate with the sea slugs, especially now. We had mentioned that might be something I wanted to do during downtime, but instead what I did was hang out with the crew and get to know the space better.
Right.
But now Beraald would like to find a way to communicate with the sea slugs to let them all know where he is and plans to be, and just check in with all of them and make sure they're okay.
All right.
And to do this, I believe I need to ask for the assistance of
Iberkeet.
Lumi, right?
Iberkeet.
Iberkeet?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
All right. So
I definitely have the spell for that.
So,
okay, I'm sorry.
Iberkeet, what does Beraald find you doing as he comes to seek you out?
If I'm not required for any particular activity, then I'm probably just in whatever room I live in doing some wood carving.
So, Beraald, you come in, you're shown the griffin, and you're given Iberkeet's room. And when you enter the room, you smell oak. Like the smell of freshly cut, freshly, like, injured is not exactly the right term, oak. And you see Iberkeet with a small wood chisel, very carefully. What object are you carving on, Iberkeet?
I mostly do figurines, so probably a figurine of, let's say, a raccoon.
Okay, so he's got, and it's you see the major form of it, right? And she is currently like inscribing the hairs, like making the inscribing of the hairs such that in the natural, like, shadows and everything of the wood as it is held up to the light, you can see the little, like, mask of a raccoon just in the inlay in the wood.
Amazing. And before I get into that, you said I'm shown the griffin?
Yes, the Griffin, or it is a bar, the only bar in town. literally.
Oh, okay. All right. And I know why I confused Iberkey and Lumi, because Lumi helped me last week. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Writing all of that down.
Uh-huh.
So Beraald walks in, having been told that Iberkey would be here, looks around, sees Iberkey, walks over, and says,
Hi, I don't want to disturb you. Hi. What you working on?
A thing.
Okay. Yep, okay. I can, Oh, wait a minute. Is that a raccoon mask?
Yes.
Oh. I feel like you don't want me to ask more about that, but, boy, am I curious. But if you wanna, you can tell me about it later if you want, but, oh, boy, I'm dying to know. Anyway, can I sit down? I have a question for you.
Absolutely. I set my things aside on a table.
Okay.
Practice active listening.
all right.
Well,
Oh.
you didn't have to stop working. But I appreciate it. Thanks. I'm getting all the attention on me. That's great. Okay. So I would like to get in touch with my former crew, and I believe you can help me with that. You have a spell that would let me talk to them or send them a message, rather.
Well, I would be able to send them a message, and they'd be able to send me one back.
Okay. Is that
And
some? Oh yeah.
and the message has to be short.
Okay. There are a lot of variations of short. Are we talking a couple of words, or a couple of sentences, or a couple of paragraphs?
Maybe 2 or 3 sentences. Out of character, the actual rule is 25 words or less.
25 words?
Uh-huh.
Mia can't say hello in less than 25 words. All right. Jeez.
Yeah, this is like
Thank
a
you.
telegraph, not a letter.
That's
I hope you're doing well.
Ash,
Stop.
right. Ash has actually seen messages from me and seen how very elongated they can be. Okay. Right.
Okay, couple sentences. Would now be an okay time to tell you, or should I come back later? Or I don't know how this is done.
Well, if you want to compose the message, that's fine, or you could tell me what it is you want to communicate, and I could compose the actual message.
Okay. You know what? Let's go with it. I don't do well if I think too much about stuff. So
Mia had not thought about this in advance.
okay, so I'd like to say, hey gang, hope you're all doing well. I've found a new crew. You guys remember the, oh wait, no, that's too much. I found myself with the Lights of Miiva crew, and I'm gonna hang out with them for a while. The end? I don't know if that's enough information. Basically, I just want to say, hey, are you all okay? And I'm okay, and I'm gonna be hanging out with the Lights of Miiva for a while. Well, there. I guess that was the message. Telegram. What is that? I've never heard of that word. That's it. That's what I got.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 words.
Nice.
Really?
I'm okay. Are you all okay? I'm hanging out with the lights of Miiva.
Oh, you were really good at this. All right, so that 14, I have 11 more words.
Actually, out of character, is there a way for them to contact me via Eberkeet, or is there a way that I can let them know how to get a hold of me if they need to?
So the spell allows the recipient to send a 25-word message to the caster in response.
Okay. So
So
I will. Yeah, go.
I would get a response that I could deliver to you.
Okay. All right. So with
All right, and let's see. I guess I should tell them that respond to this message to let me know you got it. Respond to this message to let me know you got it.
Perfect.
Well, look at that. That was exactly 11 words.
Okie doke.
All right, Eberkeet. Which specific member of the sea slugs are you going to send this message to, or sending to? You know,
Remind me who all comprises the sea slugs.
you
Onweir.
know Onweir, the Chod, and Moose character, the how do I not know her character name?
right, I know.
The bard, the best. Onweir and Chod and Zika. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
It just scrolled up a bit in for 20,000 more on Discord.
Thank you.
I did not know she was a bard.
Yes.
I would say, can I make a recommendation as to who? Well, here, I'm going to do this in character.
There you go.
Do you, should I tell you who to send it to? I know you know all of them, or is there someone you feel most comfortable sending it to?
No, it's all the same to me.
All right, I think Onweir's too grumpy, and Chad might be eating poop, so I think we need to send it to Zika.
Agreed.
All right. Please send the message, unless it's just literally what Beraald said, and then roll
It's gonna
me.
be literally that.
Okay, and then roll me 1d20. Do not get a 1.
Yes.
Natural 20. Eberkeet, you learn a thing from your natural 20 as you're casting this roll. You are certain that this is passing into the Feywild. And you send your message, you learn that it's passing into the Feywild. And Zika goes, okay, let me know if I run out of words to stop. Somebody count for me. Good to know. We're okay. We got a little lost when we came into town to try to find you. And
That was funny.
Oh, sorry.
that was 20? Okay. And right now we're in, and the message cuts off.
Okay, well, I repeat the message back verbatim, but then I do also tell Beraald that I think they're in the Feywild.
Well, first of all, clearly no one had told Zika the rule about the words, which is a little disappointing and alarming, but not as alarming as the What? They're in the Feywild?
There's nothing wrong with the Feywild. You send them and tell them to tell Mom hi.
So Riisha is just standing behind you, Beraald.
Riisha, Carol, I'm a little older than you. You gotta be a little careful sneaking up on a guy like that. I no offense is intended here. I don't quite believe that when you say it.
I mean, nobody does. Not even Ibikun does.
There
Beraald
are
looks
pros
over at-
and cons to the Feywild.
Pro being me, Mom, and I can never remember her name, but she was that cool, awesome dragon lady that Lumi said she wants to save, but he won't give me the bell to save her.
I'm sorry, that wasn't Mom. Mom wasn't the dragon lady.
Oh, take inspiration, please, Beraald.
No. Mom's not the dragon lady. Mom has the dragon lady. Well,
Okay.
has is kind of a strong word. Mom's taking care of the dragon lady. Probably giving her uppies, which, now that I think about it. Lumi, give me that bell. Dragon lady's getting more uppies than I am.
Lumi, you return to the Griffin with your new weapon, and hear that as you come in through the door. Criior, you're in this building somewhere too. Just because I want everybody here for this.
I was about to do the text version of Lumi enters room, hears statement, turns around and leaves.
Riisha, you see Lumi walk in, look at, like, when you say that, just look at you for like a beat, and then
Half a beat.
yeah, like just long,
the sentence gone. And he's
just back out the door.
yeah, he's going.
He wants to save her. I don't understand. It
Not
doesn't make
by
sense.
giving her the bell as he goes down the stairs.
Somebody needs to help me make it make sense, because I don't get why a bell would be so bad in the hands of a Fey Queen. Like, what is she gonna do with a bell? I mean, even if it's magical, she's probably got way stronger magic than a silly little bell could ever have. Right? Right, Ibikun? I think? Yeah, definitely.
Beraald leans over to Eberkeet and kind of whispers,
Is she calling you Eberkun?
Something like that, yeah. Don't know where she picked that up, but it's been a long time.
Since you, whichever the younger one of you was 5. I forget which one of you was younger, but whichever one, the younger one of you is 5, that Riisha has been doing that.
She's barely younger, I believe.
I do believe so as well, because I had Riisha in at the youngest age possible, 21? When we started?
Yeah, 21 would have been the youngest age possible.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
also 21. Or was at the beginning of the campaign. I don't know if I've had a birthday since then. But...
We should probably pick birthdays for everybody.
"Ooh,
But that doesn't happen to happen right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the only one who actually knows Risha's birthday would either be Mab or Moma.
Moma knows your birthday.
She doesn't.
Riisha, you don't consciously know your birthday, so you haven't had a chance to give your birthday to Mab.
This is fair.
And that wording was very specific.
I could probably use the divination spell to find out.
Oh, 100%.
But anywho, Beraald, I was looking for Lucy. I totally was going through my stuff now that we're home, getting things cleaned up and organized, and I totally remembered I have Gaius's pet, and she just pulls out a direwolf skull named Beauregard and hands it to Beraald. I keep trying to talk to Beauregard and try and teach him tricks and stuff, but he doesn't talk to me like Gaius does. I was wondering if Lucy would be able to, because, animal communication, or maybe you have speak with animal after all. Like, he's just taking up space. He's a good pup, but, like, he was dusty, and I'm clearly not taking care of him.
Oh,
Beraald gingerly. Now, is the skull enormous or is this like magical?
So dire wolves are medium-sized wolves. So this is say a Great Dane-sized dog, but not thin. So the skull of a Great Dane-sized dog, but it's like built like a wolf skull, so very like long and a bit wider.
Okay.
oh, hello, Beauregard. So,
Okay, out of character. No, you know what? I am pretty sure that speak with animals does not mean speak with face skulls, correct? Like, these are
Yes,
not... Okay, all right.
correct.
A combination of speak with animals and speak with dead might. That's a DM call, but
Okay.
so, well, I definitely cannot speak. I mean, I can speak to Beauregard, and I don't know if you're saying anything back to me, Beauregard, or if you understand me, but if you are, hello, very nice to meet you. I can ask Lucy if she can try to talk to Beauregard. I just want to say, Riisha, I might not want to get your hopes up too high, but absolutely be willing to try.
The skull is silent. It's just a heavy, like, direwolf bone density is about twice what a dog's bone density would be, so it's like heavy for its size, and it is bleached white, like empty skull.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that if Beauregard's trying to communicate any needs or anything like that, like Gaius tells me when to polish him, or if he's got too much dirt build up in his ears. Well, ear holes, I guess. There's no ear flesh. But, like, what if he wants a pup treat and I just don't know because I don't speak direwolf?
Honestly, this is commendable. I think it's a very good thing that you want to take care of your friend, and I would be happy to try to help. Look, I have to say, for an animal skull, it looks pretty, hefty and healthy, and that I know you said it was dusty, but sparkling white.
And just
Well-
kind of smiles at Beauregard, hoping that this is positive.
You guys hear Lumi's cry from the other room. Lumi, you want to...
Another one.
What do you mean another one? We've had this one. When did we fight those direwolves? I know we disintegrated one of them and I just picked up the skull. Because it was just like. It was so pristine and perfect. And Gaius was wanting a pet. Like, what else are you supposed to do with your children?
Give them a dog, apparently. All right. Criior, what are you doing during all this insanity?
I'm just sitting downstairs, I guess, writing some notes down.
Okay. You see Padragain walk in through the front door and do a quick check of the room, and then she comes up to you and like tries to catch your eye, but looks like she doesn't want to interrupt.
Patrick, what can I help you with?
So no, shoot. Heart, brain. Amari said that Zari already knows because Zari was with Amari when Amari was told that the lady who came through the teleportation last, whose name I have forgotten, but the lady who came through the teleportation last, who's like the commander of the group of soldiers that came through the teleportation after you guys did, that she like needs some time in town before we go off to visit Haifa, because she needs to heal and she doesn't feel comfortable healing without, she doesn't feel comfortable leaving without healing. And so she wants to know if you and your group want to go ahead and head to Haifa first and then they can follow along afterwards, or if you guys wanted to hang out in town and wait another week while she heals up. And Zari said that she was down, or down is the wrong word, but she wanted to go ahead and head off because she's really worried about what's going on in town and that the army would come after and that would be fine. But Amari said to Zari and to me that he thinks it would be better if there were more people who went there at the same time, since you guys had such trouble in town the last time you were there. And yep, that's the message.
Okay, thank you very much. I will relay that to the group when we can.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go back and help out with getting her set up because we're giving her one of the new places that have a roof in town because she's like a powerful wizard or sorcerer or something, powerful caster, and we want her to feel good about it. And Amari said that's very important that she has a good time while she's staying here in town. Oh, and it's also right next to the barracks and she's just like talking as she walks out the door.
What time of day is it, do you think?
Afternoon.
Then I'll pack up my notes and head upstairs where I heard the commotion earlier.
So you see Beraald holding or doing whatever Beraald is doing with this skull that you are pretty sure that Riisha has. Riisha has vanished, but you don't feel like she's very far away. And Ibrahit is trying her best to not notice a bleached white skull being held by Beraald in the same room as her.
What did Riisha do this time?
Who is that directed to?
To the room. So basically to you.
Oh, you're asking.
Beraald looks around. Nobody else is answering, so goes,
You're asking me. Well, this is Beauregard. And Beraald, hi, that's me. Riisha would like me to see if Lucy can communicate with Beauregard here, because Riisha wants to make sure that Beauregard's needs are being met. Pretty much.
He named another one, okay. Can we get a group together? I'm not sure where everybody is.
Hi, Brigade. I have a question for you when we are less crowded. Hi, Criior. What's up?
I have some news from Iris, and yeah, want to see what we're gonna do.
Riisha!
Oh, I'm still here.
I
I
jump
was just
scare up
over
of
here
the
in the corner.
voice next to me. What?
I had to take my hood down. My hair was in my face.
Right.
So
What about Iris?
yeah, she needs a week to recover before she and her army will go out. And the question is, do we want to scout first and then go out now, or do we want to stay in town for a week?
Give me like an hour. I need to check something with the what's active of the Herbalists Guild
Yeah, we're
here.
probably not gonna leave until tomorrow morning if we're gonna leave.
Yeah, but just I give me an hour and I'll have an answer for you. And Lumi plods off to find the Herbalists Guild.
Beraald, you find Lucy like tugging on your leg, like your pants.
Hey, what's up, Lucy?
Can we stay here forever? This place has some awesome food.
You know, we'll see if things work out for us.
The man behind the counter gave me bacon,
Oh, that's wonderful.
but like
I'll have to make sure to think.
it's like thick, the thickest bacon you've ever seen. And she like pulls a piece of pork belly out that has been roasted but not like fried, and it's technically not bacon, but it's like probably a half a pound of meat.
Whoa. Wow, you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Just remember, go slow, Lucy.
Okay, I'm gonna go find some place to wash this off so I can eat it.
Okay, Lucy, when you're done, I'm gonna have a question for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Okay.
And she's gone. All right, Lumi, you head into town and you find the building that you were going to set up as the Herbalists Guild now has a roof on it. It's looking mostly to be made of thatch, although it's peaked high enough you think that they found enough timbers to make a pretty good roof out of it. The thatch is old because it is from last year and was not necessarily properly made for roofing. But as you enter the front door, you just relax at the smell of dried and fresh plant matter. You recognize some hanging strands of like dried thyme and sage and basil. There is a small collection of some like chives that have looked like they have been freshly cut or collected, or sorry, not chives, ramps, collected from somewhere. That one of the people here is currently doing something with to prepare. There is the sound of somebody working a mortar and pestle somewhere in the back room, and this place is the smell of this place is dried and fresh herbs, like mostly cooking herbs, but definitely some medicinal and other herbs in here as well.
You view Lumi doing go in the door, take a sniff, breathe out, take a deep sniff in through the nose, hold it for like 5 seconds, and just slowly exhales through the mouth and goes home. Louder than he actually wants to go.
At which point you are noticed And give me here. Should be on the map level. Give me the name of one of the people you sent here to. Okay. Oops. Undo. Sorry, I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put things on the map, but I'm apparently failing. Well, I'll figure it out later. So, who is this? What is the name of this person who you? Yeah, everything's on the wrong layer and it's broken, and I'm gonna fix it later. What is the name of this person who you had initially set up to work in this place? Elvira, 100%. So Elvira, she's a middle-aged woman, got a couple of gray streaks in her hair. Since I'm making this character up on the spots, could somebody at least mark when this is in the episode that I can come back to the description later? She's got some gray streaks in her. She's got some gray streaks in her hair. Probably a mousy brown. Got like a wave curl. And she has very dark brown, almost black eyes, and just smells of pressed. She always smells of pressed flowers. And she comes up to you and goes, "Oh, good, Lumi, you're back in town. We're missing some critical ingredients, but I think we've got most of what we need. Are you going to be able to do any castings of?" GM's brain just refuses the spell that makes plant growth. Yeah. Do you think you'll be able to do any castings of plant growth while we're here?
Right. The sole reason I stopped by were popping by technically just for for making a stop, but I was wondering if you needed any help while I was here. And yes, I can do some.
Oh, good.
Where do we need it?
So we've got a small cache of plants used for healer's kit and other healing magic. They're really good for like potion creation as well. It's down just outside of the bridge over the river. We've got like 3 or 4 pots of it, and if you can, like this, we planted the seeds and we think they've germinated, but if you could cast plant growth on it, that would really accelerate the time frame of being able to harvest and get another crop planted. So it would be very helpful. It's about the only thing that we're really missing right now, at least that can be reasonably got not from this climate. I mean, we're missing some stuff that like grows elsewhere, but
what about food? Like the farms outside, do they need any help?
There's been, so we've got the crops planted. We think they're going okay. We have had a lot of migratory like animals coming through. So, with all the extra people in town, we've been able to go out hunting, and we have a lot of salted and prepared meat. It's getting a little bit old. I would really like some vegetables, but it'll be like 3 weeks before we get our first real like vegetable crop. We get some radishes that are just like maybe a week away. But yeah, I think we're okay. Just like on plants.
Have we expanded farming more than last time I was here, or are we still on the same mile of land?
It's a little bit bigger. We're kind of hoping that we can get some more farmers to come in. The ship outside of town is willing to ferry some people if we get some volunteers, but it's a little hard getting past Haifa, and so
No, don't send ships past Haifa.
Oh, yeah, they said that's real bad for their magic to fly over the city, and so we don't.
Ships fly? Okay, that's
Oh, you didn't. I figured since you're back in town, you would know about. Fuck, I had the name.
Ships go in the water, don't they?
Okay, I had the name of a ship, and you know that feeling when you're about to say something and the word just leaves. So
Several times a day.
yeah, that just literally happened to me, and I don't think I wrote it down anywhere because I am smart like that. So the ship's name is going to be the Burgundy Baron. A B is as in the like count, as in the leader. B.
Yeah, like color, high-ranking,
Noble,
social
yes.
status thing.
Correct. So, oh yeah, you didn't know about the Baron, the Burgundy Baron. It's up at the lake.
No, ships. Don't ships go on the water?
Well,
They
I mean,
don't get past Haifa on the water.
it's currently on the water, but it doesn't go places on the water. It's really awesome. I watched it land like a week ago.
Right. Oh, so if it flies, just
Well, it was gonna fly
aim-
to the east from here, but it came back because there was an issue with it flying over Haifa.
right. Next time you speak with the person in charge, tell them to aim like 15 miles north or south of Haifa. Should be good, I think.
I mean, I don't talk with him very often, but I'll if I see him, I'll let him know. Amari talks to him all the time.
Yeah, that's Zari's business.
Well, no, that's fair. She's back too. Oh, good. You're all back then.
Yeah, we're all back. Half spread. Any other places than the pots across the bridge that might need some help growing?
We have some really interesting mushrooms growing underneath town.
Not
Like they have some really interesting properties since the town was dead for so long. But we're not exactly sure what the properties are.
so. Lumi will do a second grade interrogation about herbs, plants, mushrooms, and try to cross-reference the mix he got from the place in the capital or in the coastal city to see if he can boost more healers kits.
Give me a nature check, please. $14. You're not confident, but you think that the mushrooms as described would do something in a healer's kit, but not necessarily what the herbs that you got from the apothecary could do.
So I'm pretty sure my Discord cut out when he said not interested, but it will amend to say, please direct me to the correct location.
All right. So she takes you to the pots, and pots is the wrong word. These are like planters, like 15 feet long, 8 inches high, and obviously well cared for, kind of protected. So they're near the path where people come by. And you know that that's kind of important. One of the things about healing herbs is that they are both givers of life and also feed off of the energies of life, if that makes sense. So having a place that has a bunch of people around actually helps, like, psychically is the wrong word, but like spiritually enhance their growth. But yeah, there's probably 4 15-foot long planters that you are directed towards, and it is near the river, in such a way that like the humidity from the river kind of suffuses this area.
And looking at the description of the spell, Lumi will turn to Elvira and say, just to be clear, because if I do this, most of the town will have to mow their lawn extra often for a year.
I mean, that's fine.
Okay, I'll remember this. This is a very long cast. I'm just gonna go let people, let my party know that I'm doing this, and we'll travel tomorrow. I will return to cast the spell.
All right, thank you. It's greatly appreciated. You're gonna save some lives.
Yeah, probably. And he'll mosey off off the griffin solely to say to the first person he recognizes that I'll be busy for the next 8 hours casting a spell. Please prepare to travel tomorrow.
You catch one of the regular people of town and send them off to tell your friends that.
And I'm off casting a spell for 8 hours.
All right.
So was that us that were who were told that? Or
So
was
yeah,
this just people in town.
Well, no, the person from town, just as a random NPC that that doesn't have a name, in a video game, where they just they say one thing, and apparently what they're saying is Lumi is casting a spell for the next 8 hours, and he finds all of you individually, lets you know, because he knows who the Lights of Miiva are, except for you, Beraald. You aren't told.
Right.
Nobody knows you.
Beraald would ask the person back. Well, no. Whenever we get back to the group, let me know.
Okay.
And I have a question.
So you guys are informed that Lumi is busy. He's pretty easy to find if you intend to find him to ask him about this, but he's busy, and so he kind of ignores you.
Do you guys know what this spell is?
Nope.
Anyone?
Everything
Nope.
I cast is like 3 seconds, and maybe I have to think about it, but for the most part, I just finger guns and people will go.
Well, that is very good to know. And we have to be prepared to leave tomorrow? Did I understand that right?
If we want
What?
to go
Already?
tomorrow.
Why? Bath.
Well, you have 8 hours, right? You can. I mean, that's a pretty long bath. That should be enough time.
For months of grime? I thinketh not it.
Okay.
So just out of character, does that mean we have decided as a group, because the question was, do we scout first or stay in town for a week? And are we understanding that this means we have decided to scout first, or?
I don't know that that's actually established. I am not sure that that's established.
Lumi
Okay.
just said he was busy for 8 hours, and that any travels would have to wait until tomorrow.
So, I mean, Beraald can make that assumption. If that's what you think Beraald would get out of that conversation.
Well, it was the part of the people should be ready to leave tomorrow. I
Yeah.
did hear that correctly, right? That was Lumi had said that.
Lumi infers, like, if we're traveling tomorrow, not today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But
I'm sorry. Okay.
Whatever Beraald thinks.
Well,
So did we decide if we're gonna stay in town, or is now the time that we talk about that? I'm still learning how you guys work.
Staying is my vote, but my vote is usually ignored because I usually don't actually say it, and because I usually go with what Mom wants, but she doesn't actually tell the rest of them. They just kind of guess what she wants, which is kind of cool because then I don't have to actually say it, and we just go on these wacky, crazy adventures. And I want to stay and take a bath this time though, because we haven't been home in more than 4 days, and that is unacceptable.
Zuda, take inspiration. I love how she started counting. So you watched Zuda start counting on her fingers the number of days she's been gone and then give up before she got to her thumb. Oh, I love it so much. All right.
So what do so we've got Riisha's vote to stay.
Zari had voted to go.
All right, one stay, one go. Ibrahim? Criior?
I could stay. I could go. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of two minds. I think we've let this situation persist far too long as it is, but I've already expended quite a bit of my magical power.
Well, what would be the problem? Like oh my god. What would be if we stayed, what's the con of staying? Just will a few days of rest make a big difference?
Well, if we stay, we can have some more prep time before we go, get everything ready. And if we go and scout, we might have information to actually do something.
You know, you said scout. I'm good at that. Maybe one of us, would it be bad if I went to scout and came back with information?
We tend to stick together.
Okay.
My thoughts exactly, Suda. So current state, there are 2 votes for either, and 1 vote for go, and 1 vote for stay.
I want to spend the time to cast Divination as a ritual to ask if any cataclysmic problems are likely to arise in the next 7 days from this issue.
Okay, please post that spell into the thing and cast it as a ritual.
that takes me 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Truthful reply, right? Maybe a short phase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen. Well, I'm not good at cryptic rhymes or omens. So repeat to me the exact question you're asking.
Is there likely to be any cataclysmic events arising from the issues we're dealing with over the next 7 days?
You get the response that you get the impression here, it's an omen, right? So you get the feeling that time is important but not urgent.
Okay.
You don't get the impression that it's going to be like you need to be there tomorrow, otherwise the world ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you get the impression that it is that time is important but not urgent. Yeah, that is what I want to say it as.
Okay, I'm going to lean my vote towards stay.
Okay, let's stay for a week
All right.
and do some preps.
All right. So you guys may take another week of a downtime activity if you wish, as you remain in town. Lumi, do you tell everybody about the ship?
It's probably odd enough that Lumi would comment it at least offhandedly during a breakfast.
Okay, we'll do that in character at some point. So, who has a downtime activity they would like to either continue or start?
Lumi would like to start a local apostrophe-ish hunt for materials to do similar, if not equal, to what he bought at the Abric Apothecary.
Okay, that is absolutely a clock you could start here in town. If you dedicate some money to it, you could have it continue while you're gone.
Oh yes, depending on cost, willing to spend brass.
Okay. How much brass you're willing to spend would depend on how quickly it would happen. I would say 10 brass. Okay, so I will first off, let's roll a nature check. See how well you do. This is going to be a 6 time unit task.
This is where Lumi's inability to remember names and just going by the colors and things like in the survival skill.
Yeah.
To see if they're deadly will bite him in the ass.
Uh-huh. So this is a high difficulty DC 15 feat task. Sorry. Not feat. This is a task. $16. So you fill in one tick of this task, and like this is you giving the information to the members to Elvira at the Herbalist Guild, like and you've given specific enough information that she can start people looking for it. You need to pay them. So for every 10 brass that you put into this process, you will get at least one person spending some of their off time, basically all summer, looking for this. Basically, it gives the more money you spend, the lower their DC to continue the task. Does that make
Good
sense?
thing I was planning to spend upwards of 150 brass.
Okay, so
I'm spending 200.
spending 200 brass. All right, so send that to me in a message so that I don't forget about all this. I'm gonna make up some actual rules about it after the session. I kind of have a sense for what this is gonna take, but I want to make sure I don't forget about it. Do you give it to them in brass or do you give it to them in iron?
Coinage.
Coinage. Okay. Make a note on your character sheet of what's going on and send me a message sometime. And then who would like to go next?
I'll seek out some people who speak Elvish or Sylvan or Giant.
There are at least 10 people in town who speak Elvish that were not here before. One of them is the paramour, significant other. We'll go with that. Significant other of Loriandal. She is a bard who has taken up residence with him in town. I
want to train my linguist feat.
All right. So you spend time talking with her. She is an apt teacher, and she loves speaking her own language, or loves speaking Elvish, basically. You get the impression that she likes spending time with Loriandal, but he doesn't like linguistics, and so she's having a lot of fun working with you. I will find her name eventually.
Well, she doesn't love it that much. Oh wait, I can use my inspiration.
You can use your inspiration. 10. Oh, sorry. I'll explain who that is in a minute. 10. Standard difficulty, so once you can fill in one segment. Loriandal Spearbreaker was one of the original members of the Lights of Miiva. He ran off with a bard singer, and then eventually he came back to town.
And the bard, the singer is the bard. Loriandal is not the bard.
Correct. Loriandal is a cleric.
Thank you.
He doesn't do much healing. He likes hitting things.
He's cleric of a grave cleric, if memory serves.
Yeah.
His thing was making sure things that were dead and making things dead.
Thank you so much.
All right. So yeah. Who's next?
I want to continue working on training to be better at physical combat, and so I will be trying to train the resilient feat for dexterity.
Ooh, fancy. Go for it. That's a standard difficulty. It would be a dexterity skill, so acrobatics, sleight of hand, something like that.
I'm not actually proficient in anything dexterity.
Awesome.
But,
Ooh. Well, do you have inspiration? If you want to.
I do. I also have a portent.
Also works.
That I'll recharge if we're spending the week in downtime.
Yes.
So that's a 17.
That is a 17. So that is 2 ticks, as it is a DC 10, and then 15 gets you another tick.
All right. And that's out of 4?
That's out of 4, correct.
For standard, yeah.
You did get your Warcaster, right?
Yes.
Okay. Point of note, any common equipment they are happy to supply you with. And with some negotiation, you could probably get non-magical exemplary pieces of equipment, whatever it's called. The
Masterwork.
that one. But anyway, so you guys, if you like Ashes, if you wanted to pick up just a standard shield, no problem.
Yeah, I'm.
Honestly, probably could ask Lumi for his engraved one at this point, because I'm thinking the sickle is more important than the shield at current time for Lumi.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm going to upgrade to breastplate and shield when I get my next level, because I'll have those proficiencies then, but I don't have those proficiencies yet. So, but I do have the carrying capacity to just carry those around until I can use them.
Yeah, you
So
could.
I'm not sure how I want to play that.
We could say that you know what's coming, and so Iberkeet's a very smart gal, and so she could have, if nothing else, shoved a breastplate and shield into the box of holding.
Okay. I think it was breastplate I was planning on.
Yeah, well, if it's something different, we can work that out at the time.
Yeah.
All right. The Beraald or Criior? And Riisha. I guess Beraald, Criior, or Riisha?
Criior did, so
Oh,
Beraald or Riisha.
Beraald or Riisha. I thought there were two left, but I was thinking the wrong people. Okay.
I can go.
Go for it.
Is there, with the equipment that I have already, speaking of equipment, is there a need to upgrade right now?
Probably
Or is
not.
the standard equipment that we come with just
The standard equipment that you come with is fine. It's more that if you find that you're missing something,
okay.
like if Riisha needed to restock on arrows or what have you, right?
Okay.
I was just letting you know
So
that it's free.
Great. Okay. Oh gosh, I had two more questions.
Worst case scenario, as a ranger at your level, you could prepare the spell Magic Weapon, which you can cast on a weapon to make it magic for the day.
Also
I was
that.
thinking
Less worse scenario. Lumion does that once a long rest for free.
Oh wow. So how would we manage that?
Oh, I guess it only lasts an hour. I thought it lasted like 8 hours.
No. Yeah. Okay. So let's back up a second. Beraald was working on a feat.
Yes.
Or if you wanted to try to get a magical item, there is a tinker in town who's very good at making magical items. That you know who Edvard is, so you are familiar with Edvard, and you would have heard that he is here in town, so you could tell him to build you something as a downtime activity, or you could work on your feet or something else. Up to you.
Yeah. I definitely know what I want to do, but I'm trying to remember. There was a question that I had regarding stuff that you guys were saying, and I wanted clarification on it, and unfortunately it's gone, so I should let it go. And Edvard is the tinker.
Yeah, he's an alchemist technically.
Okay, alchemist. And can build me a weapon or work on a weapon for me, or was that just okay?
You can commission him for a magical weapon.
Magical weapon.
Yes.
And then Lumi can be requested to cast magic, like once per rest, like in advance of a combat. Am I understanding that?
Right.
More like
Okay, I'll take the right. I would like to do two things. I would like to continue working on the feat that I was working on, and gosh darn it, it was the fighting initiate.
Yes.
Feat.
So you could get a new. Yes, fighting initiate for bow. I believe.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, the archery fighting style.
Yep. The archery fighting style. Correct. Thank you for. I'm glad people have memories.
I
Give a
have
+1 bonus to attack rolls with ranged weapons.
Yeah.
once I get all
Once-
4 ticks in it.
Yep.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
So, go ahead and roll. What would be a good skill roll for you for that? I'm willing to be. If you have
for
suggestions,
archery, dexterity based.
yeah, something dexterity based.
Okay.
Acrobatics.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand.
Acrobatics.
Stealth.
I will advocate against stealth
Fair enough.
because it doesn't really do anything towards the archery fighting style.
True.
Acrobatics. I've got a 6 next to acrobatics.
Okay.
So I feel like I would like to roll that one.
Go for it.
I'm gonna click on that button. Oh, it worked.
Oh boy. If you hear rumbling, apparently it's a thunderstorm outside now.
Oh no.
It's fine. It's just happening.
Okay.
I just didn't. It didn't know if it was coming through on the mic or not. I thought it was like somebody doing something outside, but then I realized no, that doesn't make any sense. It's a thunderstorm. All right. So it is a normal. Go ahead. Sorry.
What are the 2 numbers I'm seeing? I just want to make sure I
So,
understand. Is it
it by default it rolls as if you have inspiration. It just gives you both rolls. So what we assume is the left hand. If you don't have, not inspiration is the wrong term. Advantage or disadvantage. Like it just rolls both.
Okay.
So we assume that if you do not have advantage or disadvantage, when it rolls like that, we just take the left hand number.
Perfect? I like that number.
If you have advantage, then you'll take the higher number. If you have disadvantage, you'll take the lower number. But if it's just a straight roll and both of them pop up, you just take the left hand one. So 25. So the DC is 10. So 1 for passing the DC, 1 for DC 15. 1 for 15, 1 for 20, 1 for 25. So you fill in 4 pie pieces of this
Wow.
feat. I think that leaves you with overflow.
+2.
So
I
Wait a
think
minute.
I think the result is +2.
yeah,
So just to be clear, I have filled in 3 today for a total of 4 pie pieces, correct?
you fill in an additional 4. So if you had 1 already, you would have 1 pie piece left over to do something else with.
Okay, wonderful.
So
Okay. Mm-hmm.
what would you like to spend that extra? I mean, I would take that Edvard saw you working on there's some archery targets out behind the griffin. And this was doing with acrobatics. You were like hanging upside down by your knees from an upper deck. Like you had gone over the edge and you had Lucy hanging onto your ankles so that you didn't like slip off. And you were hanging upside down and you were like, pulling because your quiver had to be hanging upside down. It was like hanging off a strap below you. So you're pulling arrows up from below you and then putting them in your bow and shooting them at the archery targets at the back of the thing. And Edvard saw you doing this and took inspiration, and he is going to start working on a magical weapon for you. And
Yay.
if you have money or have like a magical item that you don't want, he tells you that with some extra resources, he can make it better.
Okay.
So
Yep. Go ahead.
you have. It's up to you. What do you have anything on your character sheet that you don't want, or do you want to give him some money?
I would just like to just confirm, where do I, just before that, where do I mark that I filled in the 4 pie pieces? Where
Just-
is that located?
Just make a note of it, and then
Okay.
we'll grab that feat and drag it onto your sheet.
Got it. Okay, so I have 1 left over, and with that 1, what you are suggesting is that Edvard is going to make me a magical weapon,
Yes,
and so that is what
inspired by your efforts.
right, and that will use up, first of all, that extra pie piece.
Correct. And it'll
Okay.
take time, and then he tells you
Yep.
that if you have money or a magical item that he can
Yep.
take apart, he can make it better than he has right now.
I don't know yet what it is that I want to keep. I like the short sword of warning. Do I have 2 quarterstaffs? I'll have to look at it. I'm gonna say let's do it easy. Let's use money. And what is the amount of money?
Whatever you're willing to give him.
Okay.
I don't know how much
I'm
money you have.
assuming- Well, I started with 10 gold pieces, I believe.
Oh, you don't have very much money. Beraald's broke. Oh no, but you are a
we
member
got
of the
more.
20,000 more. We never added it to your character sheet, did we? You have.
Sure.
So you have, much to Riisha's never having found it off of you, you have 2,000 brass, and it is about 50% in coinage and about 50% in gems. So you add to your sheet 1,000 brass coins and and just a bag of gems worth 1,000 brass.
And a bag. So that's 2,000. Okay.
Yes.
Worth 1,000 brass. Okay.
Oh,
Go.
Lumi, I would like you to do that. If you're trying to do that Soto voice, or if you're trying to do that in secret, I would like you to roll for me a stealth roll.
The only person that Louis wants to keep that a secret from is Riisha.
That's fair. So if you want to keep it a secret, I would like stealth from you, and I would like perception from Riisha.
Risha's distracted, so she's purposely rolling with disadvantage.
Go for it.
Not that it mattered.
Not that it mattered.
Is this in response to what Lumi typed in chat?
There was there was a
Okay,
whispered question.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Something that I'm not seeing. Okay.
So, Lumi, you have to show him this object in order to do that.
Yes, and Lumi will trust Edvard far further than he can trust Riisha.
So you would have done this, since you did this in secret, you would have found him when he's back at his workshop. I want to cover that in character in a minute. Yes, sorry, Beraald. We were working with you.
Okay. Okay, so we've got Edvard's going to make me a weapon. I would like to pay for it, and honestly, I would like assistance knowing what is a reasonable amount of money. I can ask as Mia, or I can ask as Beraald, because I have no clue.
Yeah, so Beraald would probably have a sense for it. Mia doesn't. So as Mia, magical items that have a +1 are in the thousands of gold, that have a +2 are in the tens of thousands of gold, and it just goes up from there. So
Okay.
So more money, more better, as far as magical item creation goes.
And the problem with that is that I I have thousands of brass.
Brass. Sorry,
but
not gold. Brass. Yes.
Oh, okay. We also got money from I got from being in the cave.
You guys spent that to get Lumi back.
Okay. All right. So all I have is that 1,000.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to say 500 brass. Is that?
Okay. You going to give him the coins, or are you going to give it to him in gemstones?
Ooh. I'm going to give it to him in gemstones.
So you're like, I'm going to give it to him in gemstones. You reach into this bag and you fiddle around for a minute, and you pick out I don't know the actual carving, but a ruby that's maybe a half an inch in diameter that has a spherical cut. So it is a spherical gem that has like facets around, and Edvard goes, "Ooh, that'll work nicely. Yes, I think I can use that. Thank you, Beraald. This is great." And he looks inspired.
Thank you. As you saw me flying around there. There's still some life in these knees.
Yeah, having honestly having your animal companion hold you there was a stroke of genius.
Oh, thank you so much. We work well together. I'm excited to see what you can make for me. You've got a great reputation, so thank you so much.
The half troll smiles and gives you a slight bow. All right.
And do I know exactly what he's making, or is he just making what he's making?
He is making what he is making. He has not told you what it is.
Okay. And the thing that also I wanted to do, I wanted to take the time to have Lucy potentially talk to Beauregard. That can happen whenever, but that's definitely something I wanted to do with this week.
So one evening as this week is going by, as you guys are all kind of hanging out in the main area of the Griffin, food has been delivered to you. It is a salt venison stew, which means mostly that they took salted venison, and then they washed it a bunch of times to get rid of most of the salt, and then they boiled it until it became a stew. The major ingredients in it are meat and water and some herbs. It's really honestly pretty hearty. You wish it had some barley or some other grain in it to like give it a little more thickness, but it's really not bad tasting, right? And as you're doing this, Lucy is on a separate table looking deeply into the eyes of this skull, and everybody who is not Beraald here is I don't think it's coming through Discord, but just like chittering raccoon sounds. And Beraald, what you hear is, so they feed us really well here, so if you want to talk, then maybe I can get you some licorice to talk. And so Beraald, he's my friend right over there, and his friend Riisha, she said that you could talk, but you haven't been talking at all. So if you just wanna let me know if you can actually talk, that would be great, and I'll give you this piece of licorice that they gave me from behind, that they had in stashed in behind the bar. They don't know that they gave me the piece of licorice, but I know where they keep the licorice now, and so now I know where to get it. And then just like a couple minutes of silence, And Lucy says, "Well, I guess if you don't want the licorice, then I will go ahead and just eat it myself." And she like just leaves the skull where it was. She hops off of that table, hops onto your table, and starts dipping. Criior starts dipping into your beer, which is just a small beer, the piece of licorice, and washing it off, and then like shoving it in her mouth, shucking on it a little bit, taking it out, putting it back in your beer.
Well, okay.
The table is a mess, but the licorice is clean.
I'm so sorry, Criior. Are you? Do you need me to tell her to stop?
Nah, I'll get a new one.
Okay. If anybody, you gotta let me know if Lucy is, she likes things clean. So just let me know if you need me to tell her to get down off of things, and not dip her licorice in your beer, Lucy.
What? It's there. He wasn't drinking it at the time.
You're not wrong. But maybe we ask first.
But
That's all.
they never answer when I ask them.
Yes, you can ask me if I'm around, and I will ask them.
Oh, okay.
That's great. And Beraald gives her a scritch and says, "So, how did the conversation go? Did Beauregard talk back?"
They're not talking to me.
Okay. Well, Lucy, thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. Can I go get another piece of licorice?
Absolutely, you did great. And remember, ask first.
You see Lucy hop off the table. You all see Lucy hop off the table, skitter around behind the bar, and you hear a chittering sound followed by a wait, no, what? And then a yelp as Lucy comes peeling out of behind the bar with a bag in her mouth, and she is just pell-mell, that's the word, towards the front door, being chased by the barkeep who's trying to prevent her from stealing this bag of licorice. And he is not catching up to her.
Beraald.
I'll tell her later. Sometimes I have to pick my battles.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Hey, barkeep, what's the damage?
Well, for you guys, I mean, he's one of your friends, so just tell him to stay. Tell him to tell her to tell the raccoons. No raccoons behind the bar, please.
All right, sir, you've got it.
And Beraald would like to leave like an extra tip, a hefty tip. I don't know if we need to mark that down, but
you guys aren't paying anything.
I'm leaving a 30 brass tip for the poor bartender for Lucy's shenanigans.
You guys aren't paying anything for this food. It's been free, but yeah, totally leaving the bar to keep a tip. All right.
Lumi is irrelevant.
Whether or not,
despite
the amount Beraald is leaving, the Lumi is leaving a 30 brass tip.
All right.
and then Beraald will do the same, and also just let I guess, is Riisha at the table?
Absolutely. Somewhere. She's really
She's
sneaky.
paying attention.
Okay. Riisha, Lucy didn't get anything from Beauregard. I'm sorry.
Huh? What? Oh, Beauregard. Really?
Yeah.
Not even to lose. Huh? Wow, he's one stubborn little pup.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Mom about
sorry.
that.
Is Beauregard what you're calling that thing? Gee, Willikers, Riisha.
Well, it's his name. Gaius named him. So yeah.
Like really deep sigh, like half in influx of air and just exhale for like half a minute.
All right. Is anybody left?
Riisha.
She's spending most of this time doing her best to be very discreet about finding the fanciest and deepest midnight purple fabrics she can, and finding somebody who will make her the prettiest ball gown she can think of.
Okay. Give me a investigation or insight check, please, Riisha. With a 9. So this would be a simple task. You find that the bottled leeches, which is totally an apothecary shop, completely. But you know better. With a little bit of persuasion, you are able to score from them for a song, not literally a song, but like 5 brass, enough deep purple silk for a ball gown and possibly another outfit. You don't really find anybody currently to actually craft it, but this is as fine of material as you have ever held in your life.
Yeah, that's what she's been distracted with. She's constantly like under the table, taking some of the fabric and being like, if I do this. She's trying to honestly figure out how to put a pocket of holding on it, but she has no idea how to enchant anything because, she's just a warlock. She just knows magic because she knows it.
So you have this fabric in your possession, and probably like several pieces of parchment with like drawings on them, like simple drawings of dresses, I'm guessing. Or
affirmative.
Okay. How good is Riisha's drawing skills? This is a player question, not a character question. How good do you see Riisha being at actually doing this drawing?
When it comes to this, very. Not jelly level good, but just under.
Right. So you guys have all at this point seen just a very beautiful looking ball gown. As Riisha's holding this bolt of silk that you don't know where it came from. This picture on a piece of parchment, this beautiful looking ball gown that she has over the course of this week, like slowly filled in and then shaded. And then like there's this whole like thing just forming out of her mind as she thinks about this fabric becoming this dress. All right. That's one of 2 ticks on a simple task, Riisha. For ball gown making.
Duly noted. The only other thing she's going to be doing is in this process, kind of distractedly, almost mumbling, ask Iberkeet, do you happen to know how to make like a pocket of holding? I want to be able to stick an entire a bougie in my pocket.
In theory.
Cool. Okay, cool.
All right. Beraald, you find yourself once again in front of the... I thought we named this place, but I don't remember the name of Edvard's magical item shop. And the do not disturb sign is hung upon the door, and you have yet to open it. And yeah, so that was a relatively good sneak. If anybody else wants to be here for this scene, would like to be here for this scene, they need to beat Lumi's 21 stealth with a perception or insight or investigation check. Riisha
Beraald
failed.
Does not need to roll.
No, sorry, not Beraald. Lumi. Beraald would need to roll, yes.
Okay. Stealth.
So Lumi rolled stealth, so it'd be investigation, perception, or insight. Ah, 20 versus 21, so no. All right. Iberkey, did you want to know about this or don't care?
Yeah, sorry, Jelly was delivering my food.
Ooh, yay, food!
Let's see. Investigation is eligible, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
So, sorry, not Beraald. Wow. I'm going to keep doing that. Lumi, you find yourself, nope, never mind. You find yourself having gotten in front of Edvard's shop, and Iberkeet just is here with you. Iberkeet, you were going to ask about a pocket of holding for Riisha's dress. That gives a valid reason for you to be here.
Okay.
And about the time, Lumi, you were gonna like, I'm not sure I'd want somebody else to know. Edvard like opens the front door, takes the sign down, he's got his goggles like on the top of his head, but they're like like the glass pieces are heavy enough they're like tilt a little bit.
Hi, Edvard.
Hi. How can I help you?
Inside, please. Brigitte, you're welcome to join, I guess.
Oh, sure. And he opens up the door, pulls curtains back from the windows. He looks like he's been working in the dark. And you see on the workbench a very, very beautiful round cut or spherically cut ruby that is currently inset inside of what looks to be the handpiece of a longbow. And it's only just the ruby and the handpiece right now. And he goes, what? How can I help you?
I'm gonna go first just because I want to get this over with. Sorry, Brigitte. And Lumi will pull out of his backpack and actually do work to untie the bell, which has been like the second Riisha said trade bell for dragon, he went into the bag and
Tied it. Yeah.
tied it real good. So he is like spending like 30 seconds down in his pack untying the bell. And he just holds it by the string hole at the top of the handle.
Mm-hmm.
And sets it gingerly atop a workbench for him. I heard what you were trying to do for Beraald. I would consider it a great personal favorite if you could use the magic from this bell to enhance the project for Beraald.
So there is the purest of crystal clean notes sound from the spell as you set it on the counter. And it is haunting in its beauty. And Edvard, like there's this moment that you all three just kind of pause. And Edvard says, okay, well, let me take a look at it.
Shove some wadding in the bell housing first, please.
Oh, sure. And he takes a couple of pieces of tufted fur that are just kind of laying around on his bench, and then thinks about it for a second.
Probably interrupt him and shove it all around the clapper. Like, make sure that thing does not make more sound.
Okay, well, let me take a look at see what it does. And he puts the goggles back on and taps the lens on one of them, which casts a spell, Iberkeet, which you would recognize as Identify.
Also Lumi, because Lumi also knows what Identify looks like.
Absolutely. So you would see that he is using his goggles to cast Identify. He's not casting it himself.
Yeah, and not offhandedly, but pointedly, Lumi will say, "Do not attune. Just use the magic.
It would
boost the bow.
It would take me an hour to attune, which is fine. This thing.
Do not.
Okay, well, let me see what in the world. And he sets the bell very gingerly down on the table, and then turns to look at you, and just like these, you see in the lenses of the goggles, like it's like hyper zoomed in on his iris. Like there's just the barest little bit of pupil. There's just a barest little bit of color of his iris showing inside of these goggles, and then just the black pit of the pupil. And so there's just looks like these two huge eyes at the end of these goggles looking at you. And then he like takes them off of his head, sets them gently on the table next to the thing, and goes,
"Yes.
It is.
Do not attune. Just
master
not working.
It's masterfully done.
Care.
Are you sure you would like me to do this?
Do not attune, make not work, and destroy remnants. Please.
Think I can disenchant it. I feel like I almost feel bad for the craftsperson who created it. But yeah, it's not an artifact. So I can disenchant it, and I can use the materials in it to. This is gonna take Beraald's. It's gonna be a few weeks before you want to let her know, or let him know that her bow's gonna be a while. Because if I'm gonna use the disenchanted pieces of this to make it, then it'll take me a bit. It'll take me a couple weeks.
I'll figure out something, and then Lumi will turn to Iberkeet and just deadpan stare at her. Please, not a word to Riisha. She does not need to know. And he will mosey on off out of there.
It just like Iberkeet, you see his name just escaped me. Edvard. You see Edvard just very gently tap on this with a fingernail. And even despite the muffling of the animal fur that he stuffed into it, it's still such a pure tone. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be that. Oh, right, Iberkeet. Sorry. Just thinking. How can I help you?"
I was looking for any formulas or other information on how to make an object be bigger on the inside.
It's not a terribly difficult enchantment. The biggest part is you have to create the extra dimensional space before you do it. And I think I have, and he stands up and he goes across the room and he starts digging through a pile of like loose notes. He's like, no, not that one. Not this one. The bell is just sitting on the table. And after a few minutes, he comes back over and hands you a sheet of arcane writing and says, this should create and link a extra dimensional pocket. If you do it right, then these runes along the top here will cause it to be connected to the bag that you have. And if you do it wrong enough, then it's not a bag of holding, it's a bag of devouring. But that rarely ever happens.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And then as you go to leave, he just like sits back down on the table, puts the goggles back on, and just stares at the bell through them as you leave the room. And I think that is a good place to end it for the day since it's 4:00. So thank you to my players for playing. Thank you to everybody for watching. It has been great having you here. Bye.